Hey, if you're looking for It's All Over, you can look for It's All Over game.com or whatever.
Well, I'm definitely going to cut that in there now.
To be honest, I don't think I was the right guy for that part.
You should always feel a little unqualified for the things you're doing.
My self-published titles got around, I think, like 10, 20 million downloads.
You can strike out a lot, but once you hit it, people only are going to remember the hit.
I remember having this feeling of like, well, Rovio is going down and I'm just waiting on like when I come to the office and I see a post-it on the door like, yeah, no need to enter anymore.
If you can't catch them within 3 to 5 seconds, it's all over. No pun intended.
I mean, they can probably shit post like me.
From Angry Birds artist to solo dev, how did we get here?
Yeah, well, it's taken almost 20 years, so it's been a path.
Mm-hmm.
Originally,
I can imagine.
I think it was 2005-ish or something that I started in the game industry. I was 20-something year old. And I basically originally tried to be in the like marketing side of art. Like there was a really good Finnish studio that I kind of admired and wanted to go towards that. But somehow just through people that I knew, I ended up in the game industry. There was a very small company called Pixel Gene back in the day that I worked for like 6 months. And then Pixel Gene was acquired by Rovio. Rovio is the Angry Birds house. And then we were doing a bunch of games for Nokia back then, like Java games and all kind of prototypes. And the Bounce series, I'm not sure if people know that these days anymore, but it's this little red ball with eyes that was bouncing around, and it was in every single Nokia phone back in the day. It was big then. But anyway, after that, when Steve introduced the world with the iPhone, Rovio also wanted to shift that way. There was a few games that was made before Angry Birds. And I had been working at Rovio maybe 3 years at that point as an artist. And Rovio was facing like financial problems at that time. And we were a very, very small core team that was left behind there. And I was the only artist. And yOKzONa, who was the original designer of Angry Birds, made up this concept of shooting tiny little birds at blocks at the time. There were no pigs then. And then I was basically drawing the art based on that original concept, including the characters and the environments and all that kind of stuff. And then that basically saved Rovio and made it become quite huge. Yeah. Now owned by Sonic. I mean, Sega.
Yeah, it's huge to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, continue. Go ahead.
After that, after Angry Birds flew, no pun intended.
All pun intended.
Rovio grew quite a bit. At the time that I left, which was about, I think, 3 or 4 years after Angry Birds was published, Rovio had like, I think, 500-ish people. And at that time, I was like slowly learning my way from a new to the industry to becoming sort of a little bit more experienced, let's say. And in the Finnish game industry, it's often seen as a sort of a dream to be a founding guy in a games company. And that was one of my dreams as well. And then we ended up founding my first game studio, Boon Lagoon. And that kind of made me go towards the entrepreneur, that's a hard word, entrepreneurship way.
You're fine.
And it was pretty much, it was quite a success in the way that, we had the Angry Birds history, so it was a little bit easier for us, but also the Finnish gaming industry, or like, let's say, investors were really looking towards the Finnish gaming industry,
Yeah.
and we were right at the right place at the right time. So we raised a few different series. I think ended up like 2 or 3 million altogether. We
Wow.
grew a team of 15 or so. We did a game before that called Noble Notlings, which was featured by Apple, and we were only 3 guys at that point, and I think it made like $150,000 or something, and we made the game in 4 months or so. So it was
wow.
pretty successful to that time. And but then we became a sort of a we slowed down a bit, let's say, because of the investments and because of more envision for the future and all that kind of stuff, bigger team. And then eventually I left Boom Lagoon after 3-ish years of being there, since things weren't really going the way that I was originally hoping for and so forth. And that's when I founded my company, Part-Time Monkey, which is what I'm also using for this It's All Over project. That's when I started to learn programming, and I got really hooked into it. I did in the next 5-ish years, I think I released maybe 15 to 20 mobile games. That was still the golden era of Apple. Like if you get features, you're gonna get a lot of downloads.
Yeah.
And that was basically what my business model, to say. So my self-published titles got around, I think, like 10, 20 million downloads. So it was pretty good. And I also got to work with Ketchup, which was a pretty big, like semi-hyper casual publisher
Oh wow.
then. And we made a game called Space Frontier, and then we made a sequel, Space Frontier 2, and those got like 30 million downloads. So that
Holy
was
smokes.
also a pretty big success. And then came the hyper casual boom, like all these voodoo, well, all kinds of different publishers who kind of saturated the market and changed the way people discover games a little bit. So it became harder for me to like keep on piling on the previous model. So I founded yet another company called Double Star with a really talented artist. We did that we actually Archero was a really big thing then, the mobile game. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but we basically wanted to make that game, but in 3D and with our own little bit twist and all that kind of stuff. And it showed really good promise in the beginning, so good that Huge Games, the casino company, or like the social casino company, they approached us. We made a publishing deal, and they ended up acquiring Double Star. So that was a good deal for me as well. And I ended up working at Huge Games for almost 2 years. Then after Huge Games, I founded another company called Wild Spark.
Perpetual founder.
Yeah. Wild Spark, which we founded, I think 2.5 years ago, together with a guy I've known for a long time, even from the Angry Birds time. He was the kind of the sort of technical director for Angry Birds and Rovio for 15 years or so. And we've been doing mobile games with him since then, and now we're kind of looking into different aspects on what we can do, or where should we go. Right now we're sort of taking a hiatus. He just got a child and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, about half a year ago, I sort of jumped back to Part-Time Monkey and started the development of this current project, It's All Over. So that's a lengthy introduction to my background.
No, I mean, it's what's interesting, and I think this is kind of cool, is like some of the people I've talked to have, they're new to the industry. This is their first crack at it, type of thing. And so kind of seeing your journey go from, early on, like, working at the studio that made Angry Birds and trying to find whatever, finally Angry Birds becoming something that they mega success with, and you being the lead artist on that. I mean, watching your journey and saying like, I feel like some people feel like they're going to be at the same thing for forever in a way, and they're going to be working in one place forever. This is going to be the one thing that I do for an eternity. And it's like, I mean, just coming like think about it this personally, like your life very much goes in kind of like peaks and valleys in a way, and you never the turns that come up in life are so you don't really expect sometimes. And so it's like to go from where you are to now being a solo dev, I think is such an interesting journey in itself.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
I feel like most people would be like, oh yeah, the artist, like without knowing you, would probably just assume that you're still working in that
Mm.
project. I would like if just outsider looking in, they would just be like, of course they would still use the same guy. You'd still be there, of course. But you're like, well, no, I left and I've made like 4 different companies at this point. But but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
And
it.
to
Yeah,
be
sorry, go
honest,
ahead.
I think, to be honest, I don't think I was the right guy for the part. I just happened to be there. I don't think I'm even a good artist in that sense. Like that, I'm not good at drawing or anything. I'm just more like a technical guy. But like after me, loads of artists joined the company who are much more capable of keeping Angry Birds, alive.
Can I tell you that I love that though? Because it's like I'm like we were just kind of talking about earlier. I'm doing like the UI in my game. I'm not a UX UI designer at all. I've been in IT for like my whole life basically like that, but I was like I think I can do this, guys. And it's crazy. I feel like almost need to be putting yourself in situations where you just kind of have an opportunity to do something. And so in your case it's like they needed an artist and you're like I can do it. I'll
Yeah,
draw,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And
And
so
I
yeah.
think that's like an attitude that you need when you are a indie dev or solo dev. Like it doesn't matter what like what needs to be done, or if you are good at it, it just needs to be done. And now you just uh, learn it as quickly as you can and as you go, and just make it happen. That's
Mhm.
probably the best way of learning anyway.
It's also the best way of growth too. Like I've told this to other people. It's like you should always feel a little unqualified for the things you're doing. Like you should always be like I almost shouldn't be doing this,
Yeah,
but I'm going to do this because like when you're learning something is where you find all your growth. If you're doing the same thing that you're 100 like super proficient at, well there's not a lot of growth to go from there. It's like
yeah,
you know
very true.
exactly what you're doing, and so you just kind of it's almost you plateau in a way. But if you put yourself in a position like an artist and they're like I'm going to learn to code, it's like well your growth is going to be exponential at that point.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, and
that's
the thing is that like the more of these different fields of development you learn, uh, the more you can combine the benefits of them, or like the efficiency of them. So like if you know how to do 3D art, 2D art, if you know how to do audio, you know how to put UI together, and you know
mhm,
how to program, then you have all these sort of tools or knowledge in your head that makes you
mhm,
go like, well, I'm doing this art in this way and this
mhm,
code that way. Oh, wait a minute. If I do this tool in between or something, it's like you 10x your efficiency.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, I feel like, well, there's another saying too that I've used. People get a sense of like analysis by paralysis type of thing, where they kind of look at like the project as like, okay, well, I have to learn this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Like, just go, just do it, just start building something, just whatever you know how to little bit do, start doing that, and then you'll start to acquire the skills as you continue down your path or your
Yeah.
journey in a way.
I think
You know,
that's one of my perhaps biggest challenges right now, uh, to start doing it. I mean, I've gone through the process of starting and then finding out that it's not that hard or that you just get it done or so. But it's still this nagging feeling that you have to start this, but it leads to that and it leads to that. And I have all these other things that I need to take care of as well and all that. But this would be the prior one. So you kind of try to leer away from it. I don't think it's procrastination. It's more like you're just a little bit scared to start the thing. Like right now, I have a perfect example because I know that I need to work on the story of my game because I don't have it. I don't have enough flesh around the bones to be able to make all the content before I have the story at least plotted out, like the backstory, like the goal, the player motivation, the end hook and plot twists and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's area of work or expertise that I'm not that familiar of. I know I could do it if I just do it, but it's really hard to stick to it. Like push through, write it down, come up with the ideas, use ChatGPT or whatever. It's still hard, but I don't know why, and it's annoying. Because everything, I just try to leer away and like, well, I'm going to fiddle around with shaders because that's fun or something like that.
I get it. I mean, I get it. It's so hard. I've said this, I've told some other people this too, but we've been working on our game and, further, I mean, where we are now, we basically, a month or two ago, we realized we didn't have any sound for our game. And we're like, not necessarily that we just didn't really think about it. It just didn't happen. Like we're sitting here building it. And all of a sudden we look at it and we're like, guys, no one designed any sound for the game. We had filler stuff, stuff you get off the internet and whatever, but no one like designed specific things for the game. And so we're just sitting here going, oh my God, all right, we got to buckle down and do this thing. And it's hard to it's so easy to do the thing you want to do. Easy in the sense of like,
it's easy to go back to that thing and just fiddle around.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, yeah, you want to just, you want to enjoy the creative element of what you're doing, the creative process. And so to do the uncreative process or the thing that you're kind of like, it's kind of like torquing and turning yourself. It's hard to get those motivations to do those things. But I was actually curious, like how outside of the creative side of it, how the business side of it is for you. Because obviously there's two pillars that you kind of have to manage, and it's like building the creative element, and then there's also the other side, which is like the marketing, the business, the project management, the getting publishers potentially, all the other aspects, getting funding, all of that. How has that kind of gone for you? And how do you feel like you are at that part of the side, that side of the making of games?
Do you mean like in my history or with this project?
All of the above.
Well, it depends on the goal. For example, the first company that we founded, we were pretty new, the founding company, so we just figured that, well, getting funding is the first thing to do because that's just what startups do. And it was a challenge then, but eventually we pushed through, I guess, because of the Angry Birds background and all that kind of stuff. And we weren't really looking for publisher or anything like that. It was just getting the funding, start making games. And I'm now trying to think about your question in a more better context. If we talk about, for example, my game right now, as I've been in the industry for quite a long time and I've had a few successes, I'm not in a hurry financially or like personally to get it out and make a living. I can fiddle around for a long time if I want to.
Working on shaders.
So for example, looking for a publisher, it's like I'm not sure. I kind of want to move forward without a publisher if possible. I know like it's harder that way, but I still kind of want to work towards that. Getting a funding, that's not something I'm looking for. But basically the challenge, the main challenge right now, which I guess is every India's challenge, is how to gain wish lists. And and that's definitely something that I would want to talk about for as long as possible with anyone who is interested, because it's a very new thing for me, or new challenge for me, but it's also very interesting because it's very different from game development, because you have to please people in a
Or
different
make them
way.
very angry.
Oh yeah, that's one way of doing it as well.
Yeah, or make them
So
very, very mad.
yeah. So right now, what I've been kind of, I'm not sure if you can even call it marketing, but let's say I've been marketing my game for about 1.5 months now. And I do the basics, post on YouTube, post on TikTok, I have a Discord server, social media, all that kind of stuff, Reddit. None of it really has worked well. I have like a 1K wishlist right now, and through experts, I've heard that you'll need 7 to 10K of them before launch and all that kind of stuff. So I have two things that I'm kind of looking forward to trying right now. One is to just spam a lot of different content from my game to TikTok, YouTube, different kind of videos with different kind of ideas, and just pray for that one viral hit. Because I do believe that, like, if I keep posting these videos and get a couple of hundred views, it's never going to go anywhere. But I do believe that it's not that far-fetched idea that one of them will just magically get hundreds of thousands of views, and that could convert into thousands of wish lists. But it just needs to happen, and it's constant research, like how that can be done. One of the reasons is doing podcasts like these.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? You actually are echoing something that I've told several people now. And this is just, I come from a business background. And so it's like when you're doing marketing, you're just shotgunning everything out there. You're putting out as much as you can out there. And the big difference in like marketing in the business world is like typically trying to talk to a specific audience and trying to get them to make some sort of action. And in this way, it's like you're trying to put out stuff out there that the community absorbs and then shares, and it goes viral. And one of the things I've told people is like, you only need like one thing to go viral. You only need one thing, but the only way to get that one thing, a really good example is like the Babe Ruth theory. You know, I don't know if you know about baseball
I
in
know the
America.
guy, but I don't know the theory.
Well, one of the things is he also had one of the largest strikeout records, but he was one of the most prolific home runners in, you know, the time of baseball. But it was because, and it's added this like kind of like this saying is like, well, if you don't swing, you can't hit, you won't hit her or something like that, or you'll never hit if you don't swing.
Or
But
the
at the same,
Gretzky 100% shots miss that something.
exactly. And so it's like you swing and you swing and you swing and you're just like, yeah, this guy misses all the time. But then you get that one that everyone goes, whoa, wait a second, that thing went way beyond the park. You know what I mean? And that's kind of that theory is like, yeah, you can strike out a lot, but once you hit it, people only are going to remember the hits. People are only going to remember the success, and that's the thing that's going to take you up to the next level. And anyway,
I
so
do believe in that. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm working towards with all the posting or shit posting. And the other aspect that I'm looking forward to is like selecting which next fest I'm gonna go for, and then having the demo out. I had ChatGPT do a deep research on Schedule One, the game that went super viral.
and went ballistic.
Yeah, and apparently, like, they didn't. Well, if GPT didn't imagine this, if it is right, then it didn't have that much of following until the next fest that they attended, and then from that they went berserk. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that some sort of the demo that I'm gonna do eventually, the next fest, is gonna prove to be at least somewhat fruitful.
Yeah. I've said this to some of my other devs on my team, and then just kind of spoken this broadly as just like when thinking about a game, like what's the thing that image or that thing that they're gonna see that makes them go, "Whoa, I want to play that." What is that? You know what I mean? And like for you posted that one video with like the rag doll of all of the guys
Mm,
falling on the mountain or whatever. I was like, that's hilarious because you have a ragdoll effect. You have a physics in a sense. You have physics going on with these characters, and and that's kind of like a funny thing to see. But it's like what was a really good example of of that type of like the only up phenomenon. Do you remember that game Only Up where it's like you keep
sounds familiar,
climbing?
but I'm not sure.
The game, there's some controversy around the game because the guy ended up using a bunch of assets that he wasn't allowed to use, but the game was an insane kind of like Schedule 1. It blew up out of nowhere, but the entire game is you just climbing, jumping and whatever all the way up into eternity or infinite or whatever. But it had those viral clip moments of people being really high up on the top or really far, and then you falling, and then just
Right.
people it basically that loss of progress of like an hour or something. You basically just delete an hour of your progress from falling, and
Which
that
one was first? Only up or the getting up with Bennett, whatever it's called? The
uh
guy with the sledgehammer.
Oh, I think that yeah. I think that one was first, and this was kind of like a spiritual successor in a way, or
Right.
or I wouldn't say spiritual because I don't think the same people worked on it, but it was I think the one with the sledgehammer was first, and then this was kind of like the next type of thing. But having
Yeah.
those viral moments of like falling, I think is what made people go, "Whoa, what the heck is
Yeah.
this? Oh, I gotta try that." And it's hard to figure out like, okay, what's my viral thing about my game
Yeah,
that I
exactly.
can
And it's
showcase.
something that obviously when you are like deciding what game to do, it's something that
Mm,
you need to keep in mind, or not need to, but you would want to keep in mind, like what's that thing like it, losing 2 hours of your progress. Yeah, sure, that's a thing, but it's also an interesting question. Like if you don't have that mega hook from the very get-go, then how can you come up with that hook after? Like
mhm,
my game, for example, or yours maybe,
mhm.
is like, well, there is no losing of progress. There is no 100 people doing a race at the same time, which
Yeah,
or anything like that. It's a single player RPG with
mm,
you know basic mechanics. Like how can I introduce even in a fake way that would make a video go viral? How can I get that thing
yeah.
in there? And if you can't, if it just doesn't fit the game, then what? You're just screwed.
Yeah. And I mean that's the silver bullet for sure. It's that what is that thing? And it's funny you brought up my game because that's one of the things that's been the most difficult for us to figure out, which is what's the thing that we can show because I feel like our idea what we're doing is fairly unique in the genre or space that we're doing, but it's been the most difficult thing to market to show people what we're doing. And it's been so it's hard to maybe off I don't want to make it about me, but it just so once we turn off the recording, I'll tell you more about it. But just speaking more into it. It's broadly is like it has been one of the most challenging things. Is like how do you, the one uh in business they call it like what's your unique selling proposition?
Mhm,
Like what's
yeah.
the thing that makes you unique that people want to go, oh wow, that's interesting, and I want to know more about it. And our unique selling proposition is also one of the most difficult things to show people because of the way our game is formatted. And in a
Can
light
you
sense,
what can you put it in one sentence?
it is a if I were to try and put our game in one sentence, let me see.
No, I need the USB.
Uh
I need
it
the USB. Can you put that in one sentence?
the US oh sorry, say that one more time. Can I put what in one sentence?
The unique selling point, USP.
Oh, the unique selling point.
Business
Yeah.
lingo.
Oh, yeah. Can you put it in one sentence that said, or they call it like an elevator pitch or that seven
Yeah,
second thing or whatever you want to call it? Can you put it in yeah, like what's that unique thing? And it translates into marketing though as well, because if you can simplify your unique excuse me, your unique selling proposition or whatever you want to call it, you can put that into one sentence, then you typically can translate that into some sort of media in a video format in some kind. And that's, like I said, kind of the challenge in a way that we have. And in your case, you have a single player top, top down single player, you know, game. And I guess in your way, your selling proposition might have to be the art, or the one thing that you've been avoiding, maybe the story. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It may have to fall into that category of,
yeah. I think
what's gonna sell it.
the thing that's gonna sell it if it's gonna be sold is the art style, the comic book style, and I think
Mhm.
like not that it looks great, but well, I'm saying it, just anyway. Anyway, uh, just the fact that it is comic book style, like that's the unique part. Not that it looks good. Like there are plenty of good-looking games out there, but I don't think there are that many that look like a comic book. Like
Mhm.
Borderlands, sure, a couple of others, but not that many.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the unique things of my games.
I agree. It's obviously one of the major thing that drew me in when I first saw you shit posting all over Reddit. No, it's what drew me in. I liked it, and I was like, "Oh man, I really want to talk to this guy." And oddly enough, I had no idea you were the artist of Angry Birds, which is just kind of funny. It shows my ignorance for sure. As going back to what we were talking about, you should always feel a little bit unqualified for what you do. In this
Sure,
case,
but realistically, I can't expect people to know that some random Finnish guy with a hardly pronounceable name is the guy behind Angry Birds.
I mean, it could. I mean, uh, well, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't mean to be rude about that, but it's true. But where I was gonna go with that is your art style. I thought was unique and it was interesting, and I love the comic book art style. I'm a huge comic book fan. I have like Captain America placard up here too. I have you could kind of see it above my head. So I'm a huge comic book nerd too. So like when I saw your game, and not only that, I just fun wise, I liked your weapons and I just wanted to like go in your game and start causing mayhem.
Really?
That's what it
Yeah.
feels like when I see your game. I'm like, I want to go in there and just cause absolute chaos in there. I just want to go around and F with these people, these characters, these people that you made in your world. It just looks like fun picking up. Like I just saw a thing with the rocket launcher and the minigun and all this stuff. It just
Yeah.
looks fun. It looks like a fun game to play. And
Yeah.
you have that open world-esque feel to it, or at least that's the way it presents itself. And I just think it would be fun to walk around your world and make these people not have a very good time.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I kind of want uh, people to feel when they are playing, like having this idea of an open world and just wanting to walk around and find different locations, find out like different buildings, different lootables, and all that kind of stuff. Because
Mhm.
that's one of the fond memories that I have from Fallout 2 is
Mm,
that even though it's not open world, but the map, the way you move on that map, it makes you feel that it is open world and you can go
right.
into any location, even in the wasteland, not only the pre-made locations.
Yeah.
So that brings like this feeling that wow, the world is really big and I can go anywhere and I can just from the very first moment of the game, I can walk towards any direction if I want to. I don't have to follow a storyline like from point A to B, C, and so
Yeah.
forth. And that is, I think, um, an aspect that I would like to be more um, presented in the videos that I post. But it's also one of these things like
Mm,
how do you make people feel that by just watching like a 10-second video.
yeah. And jeez, I feel like we're in sync right now because it's that thing that you're like, this is unique to me and my game, but how do I show people
Yeah,
that this unique thing in my game is what you get to experience?
yeah,
How do I present that in like, well, what's even crazier too, when you think about like videos and marketing, is like you only have really like 3 seconds to catch somebody. They'll click on your
Exactly.
video, they'll see it, and if you can't catch them within 3 to 5 seconds, it's all over. No pun intended. That was a
Nice.
genuine no pun intended.
Yeah,
But
I actually have a Google alerts on It's All Over just so that I know if it gets mentioned anywhere. And all I'm seeing is just like political things saying like
yeah,
it's all over because of
it's all
Trump and all
over.
that kind of stuff. And like browsing like, yep, nothing from me.
That's funny. That's actually really funny. Um, but I think that is if I mean, obviously that is one of the things that's so cool about your game, and what I think is really interesting is just being able to get in there and just really cause the mayhem you want to cause. And yeah, I don't have any answers for you as far as how to showcase that in
Yeah.
within 3 to 5 seconds. If I did, I mean, I would probably be working in game marketing then instead of trying to make my own game.
Well, yeah, I think you bring up a good point, which is the mayhem, even though it's not the focus of my game, because I'm aiming for like interactions with the characters and the world and that kind of stuff. So you don't need to be shooting all the time. But I do think, and I agree with you, that the mayhem is one of the big hooks, and I should probably build like more on that. Like not only having the main character blowing up everything, but like have 50 different characters blowing everything up and just
Mhm.
show that mayhem in the first 3 seconds. And
Yeah.
maybe that could be the,
Yeah. At least it's just that hook, that catch, to just grab people's attention right off the
yeah,
bat, which is also like just speaking about this show is too has been like a lot of testing and the format and things like that when I've been making the videos as they
yeah,
come out.
yeah,
I've been moving stuff around, testing certain things out because it's like you have like I watch my statistics and it's literally like the first like 10 seconds like you just see this cliff of people falling off. And how do I make sure that I can hold people for, at least I'd like to personally, I'd like to hold people for at least 5 minutes. If I can hold someone for 5 minutes, I think I can usually get them to the end of the video. But it's like I'm testing and moving and testing and moving and trying out all these different little formats to try and see how do I hook people in and stay on this show because at the end of the day, I believe in the people that I talk to. I believe in their projects. I think their projects are really cool, and want the show to do well so that they are successful because that's just genuinely what
yeah.
I believe.
But
But
I
yeah,
imagine that it's much different for your full podcast videos. Like you have 1 hour, 2 hour videos. You're
yeah,
never gonna get people to watch it until end. Like only a very tiny fraction of the people are
yeah.
really going to like
It
watch the
is.
entire thing.
It is.
So
And
it's very
that's
different for you to well get them 5 minute mark, 10 minute mark, and all that. In comparison to game marketing, where you're like doing a 20-second video and you're
yeah.
worried that they drop off at 1 second. So
Yes.
how do I push them to 3 seconds?
3 to 5 seconds just to and then to get the click through and the things like that,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the and this is what goes back to like when I've talked to other people about it, is just like the whole the building games world. It's like there's so many there's so many moving parts to it that I think a lot of people don't understand. They see the game up there. And you get the lunatics on Reddit. You're like, your game looks like trash, and you're just like, okay, buddy, like that was rude. I've spent like 2 years
Yeah,
working on this
yeah,
thing. You didn't have to attack me. But it's like you look at the art, the programming, all the different things that you need to just build the thing, and then the other side of it is like all the marketing and the building the business and the potentially getting publishers and all this other aspect of the other side of it of the business, and it's like it's an undertaking. It really is a
yeah,
big
and
undertaking.
it requires quite a lot of like resilience because you are
Mhm.
constantly first of all bombarded with the challenges when you're developing the game. Like everything that you do you have to do more or less yourself. It's a new thing you need to constantly learn. You're going to fail like from second to second, minute to minute, and all that.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
everything you do is just failing until you yeah, until you succeed. uh, and then finally all after all that efforts you start marketing. and you get 0 views, 0 views, 0 views. Like that's basically a slap in the cheek every single time. And you just have to like, well, I'll endure it. I'm going to push through and just try again. So it's like getting denied for a date like 10,000 times
Yes.
throughout your production.
Yes. You have to have some very good mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Because I've said this before, but it's just like I agree with the failures, man. I mean, it's you failing minute by minute until you finally get your one little like success and you can finally breathe a little bit and you're like, oh, thank God.
But you do need the successes because I think those bring the motivation. It's like development wise, the more you do it, the more you succeed, and the more you become like familiar with being okay with the things that you do. But especially in the marketing side, what I see now for myself is that like if I go, for example, a week without any successful post or like semi-successful post, I kind of become like bummed, like should I even really continue and all that kind of stuff. But I get like one good Reddit post with 500 uploads, and I'm like, yeah, this is the game that I wanted to make all the time.
Yeah. I do the same thing because things will kind of go a little stale for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I need some dopamine here. I need something to trigger some happiness for me, so I'll go do something that I know makes me a little bit happy. But I wanted. Hold on, my dog's like scratching herself.
It sounded like a tambourine.
What's that? Yeah,
it sounded like a tambourine.
Gold. She's got a big gold chain, and she's you want to see? Come here. Come here. Come here. I don't know if you see her yet.
I know. Yeah, I saw the snout.
Yeah. Come here. Come here. What's wrong with you? She's
shy on camera.
She's a good girl. She's a good girl. She's getting old. Getting old. But yeah, she's a big girl. Sorry, that was we'll cut that out.
If you could show her like properly, that would be like the cover photo of the video.
She's gonna scratch again.
You show a dog on the video and it's instantly at 1 million views.
Oh yeah, you want to see?
Yeah, hello. So cute. What's her name?
Go over there. Now I'm gonna get dog hair all over me. I got a black shirt. I got dog hair all over me. Her name's Adrian.
Adrian.
Yeah, her one of my best friend's dads bred these dogs. They're actually wolf. She's like half wolf. So she her father, she's actually named after like her mom, but her dad was named Rocky and her mom was Adrian. And so it's like Rocky and Adrian. So we carried the name on, which is one of my favorite. One of my favorite movies, like series of all times, is like I get in arguments with people. I'm like, that's the greatest love story of all, right? Like it's a boxing movie. I'm like, yeah, but he does all of it for Adrian. His entire motivation in every single movie is Adrian, his wife.
Right.
It's the greatest love story ever told.
Well, who wouldn't love good old Sylvester?
What's that? Oh,
who wouldn't love good old Sylvester?
Oh, yeah. No one. I would melt.
I think like one of the things that is bombing in solo dev, especially solo dev, not like 2 dev or 3 dev or duo dev or whatever, is like you get lonely.
Oh,
and that's kind of sad. Like, you go on for 1 full week, even though I have a wife and I have some friends that I see every now and then, but still 1 week of semi-solitude, it gets lonely.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can definitely imagine, and I actually can relate just slightly. I made some solo projects by myself, but you sit there behind the desk and you just kind of like are working away like a we have puns all over the place. I'm going to say like a monkey. You're sitting there just hammering things away, and you're just like, okay, well, let's see if anybody likes it, and then you make a post, and you get some stuff, and I guess you go to sleep or you go do the rest of the thing, you wake up and you do it again. But having that collaborative type of experience, being able to bounce things off of people
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it makes the things more enjoyable for sure. I can only
Yeah.
imagine that
Yeah.
solo dev view.
I mean, I do think that solo dev, there are a lot of pros to it as well. And if you add even one person to it, many of those pros are already gone. The decision making on the design of the game, but also like what should be worked on next. Like
Mhm.
you can do the decision like this, like, okay, I'm working on the story, but I just had this recalling of that this bug still exists. Oh, I need to fix on that. And
Yeah.
you can jump around wherever you want, whenever you want, which of course can also be a con. I mean,
Mhm.
if you do that too much and you lack focus, then obviously you have
Yeah.
issues. So it requires self-discipline for that pro to be a pro.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna ask actually, so, because we are just kinda talking about that collaborative experience. What was that like while you were working on Angry Birds, and how did that like, when things would as things were being created to things launched into that whole collaborative experience, and what was it like just working together, building this thing as it's basically exploding into the phenomenon that it was?
Um, well, this is a topic that I've been talking about every now and then whenever there's been an interview or somebody asks about it. And the issue is that I don't remember that time that well. But the things that I do remember is that the time uh, before it was launched and we were just developing it, it was like I remember having this feeling of like, well, Rovio is going down and I'm just waiting on like when I come to the office and I see a post-it on the door, like, yeah, no need to enter anymore or something like
Yeah.
that. And, but we just kept on going and figured that, well, hope for the best. And then when it, when we published it and it got that first bit of traction from Apple, you have this like like a little bit of a feeling in your gut that like, wait a minute, maybe.
Yeah.
And during that time, we were also like internally competing on the scores in all the levels. So we were keeping like this Excel sheet at that. Like every time you do a high score, you post that. So basically, like a local leaderboard because
Uh-huh.
our game didn't have a leaderboard,
Of
and
course, yeah.
that was like one of the first signs that okay, well, we are liking this game this much. So
Yeah.
again, maybe.
Yeah.
And then when it did start becoming big, uh, well, obviously, you know, increases your motivation to work on it
Mhm.
for even further. And things I think started to move quite fast, quite soon. Like
Mhm.
we made spin-offs, like the seasons versions and the Rio and all that kind of stuff happened quite quickly. But it was like for the first year, it was a bit invisible for the dev team that the
Mhm.
success was happening. Like we brought in, for example, Peter Westerbacka. I'm not sure if people
Mm.
listening to this podcast know who he is, but he was like the face of Angry Birds
Oh, okay.
for a long time, and he was traveling all around the world, bringing in all these kinds of like new deals, new projects that we had to implement and all that kind of stuff. So he had this, and he was all constantly talking about like how Angry Birds is the biggest hit of all time,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's gonna make billions and trillions and gazillions. And for us, well, we didn't really see it; we just heard it. So
Yeah.
it was a bit weird time. Like you constantly see new people arriving, like hurrah fires and all that kind of stuff, but you don't really see it until uh, I was first sent to Nordic Games Conference in Sweden, which was like my first games conference ever. And
Mhm.
we didn't think of ourselves like being like highly known or highly appreciated or anything, but we had our Angry Birds hoodies on. We entered the conference and like everybody was all over us.
Wow.
Like, are you Angry Birds guys? Wow, I'm gonna buy you a beer. You need to join our party. You
Wow.
need to do this and that and that. That was like the first like,
Oh.
okay, well, Angry Birds might be something pretty cool.
Yeah. That's
And the next,
wild.
yeah, then the next spike that I had was like, I don't remember how long after that, but I went to GTC in Frisco, and obviously there everybody knew what Angry Birds. So again, the Rockstar thing happened. But also we went to Chinatown. This was my first time ever going to San Francisco, and
Mhm.
I saw these rip-off like beanies and hoodies and all this kind of stuff
Oh, like
made of Angry
knockoffs?
Birds.
Like
Angry
knockoff
Birds
stuff?
was, huh?
Like knockoff, like
Yeah,
fake
yeah,
stuff?
knockoff stuff. Like,
Oh,
yeah, like it's just some, I think the people who lived there, they made them themselves and
oh, that's
sold
cool.
them on the streets and everything. And to any mall you went, you would see the plushies, the hoodies, and all that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. So that was the the big moment. Like, okay, well, Angry Birds is like truly global.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I remember heyday Angry Birds was, like, everywhere. I mean, it was just
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I had the game on my phone. I think at one point, everybody on the planet that had a phone probably had Angry Birds
yeah,
installed on their phone, and they had played it at some point in time,
yeah.
and that's what's crazy about it, and so, like, once you had left, I'm assuming that's when after you'd left, when was it they made the movie to where you were, and what was it kinda like just being like, "Oh my god, they're taking my art and putting it essentially on the big screen," you know, what was that like?
Uh, well, I didn't at any point really feel that it's my art. I always felt that it's Rovio's art. I just
Right.
happened to do it. But
You just happened to
uh,
draw it.
yeah, I left, I think, a year or three before the Angry Birds movie came out. But I was invited to the red carpet event for the Angry Birds movie, so that was really nice, and it was
Uh-huh,
really really cool to see like a pre-screening of that movie in Helsinki for
uh-huh.
just the Rovio guys,
That's cool.
and having after party and all that. It was not bad.
Yeah, you're just like, that there we go." And, as far as, like, your art, yeah, what I guess a better way to put is your design in a way, seeing your design essentially up there because, I mean, you did it, it's yours, so, like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just kinda unique to I feel like it's a very out of body type of experience, you're walking around and like, "All these people are looking at my stuff, this is kinda weird," you know? Kinda
yeah,
cool, but
yeah.
kinda weird.
Oh yeah, one other memory that I just recalled, which was funny. Again, I don't see myself as a really good artist, but still, in the first GDC that I actually forgot my business cards at the studio, so I didn't have any, but I did have a notebook. So I went to the hotel room. I ripped off like pieces of off from the notebook, like they really looked like ripped. And I
Uh,
just drew an Angry Bird on it, wrote my details, and then went back to GDC and handed them over to people. And I was like, I'm ashamed to give you this. And they were like, wow.
that's awesome, I would have loved to
Like,
get that one of those, though, that'd be you're like, "Well, this is your business card?" You're like,
yeah.
"Yep, that's my business card."
I don't have the money to buy business cards, so here you go.
Oh, man, that's so funny, and I think it's just what's I think really kinda cool and unique too is, like, I feel like people have a very romanticized vision of, like, possibly what bigger studios are like and what it's like these people are just like, you know, celebrities and they're just untouchable and all this type of things. And I'm like, I've always kind of had this perspective as people are just people. Like we're just
Yeah,
hanging out and we're all just trying to get through it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everyone's got their own struggles and things that they go through their life. And I think it's unique. Everyone has their own unique life. And so like it's really humbling to hear that you're like, I don't even have business cards. I just drew something and gave it to people and I think people would be like, "Oh, wow." You would think that they'd have it all together and stuff. It's like, sometimes you just don't. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just gotta get out there and do it, and it is what it
I would
is.
I would imagine that there are more celebrities who don't have it together than people who do.
Yeah.
Like I can see like because I had the glimpse of that rock star hood when going to the Nordic Games Group conference and all that. Like I can imagine like if you get that daily, you can go like crazy very fast, because like throughout your entire life, you've been slowly building up your personality, learning like who you are and all that kind of stuff. But then if you like wake up as a celebrity overnight, you are going to be treated differently, and you think you are somebody else now. So that messes up with your head. And I can imagine like for many people, they become egoistic, they become selfish, they become all these kind of things. So I don't really blame like these people who go mad because of like new famousness. It's not. I can imagine that it's not easy.
Are you speaking about someone specifically?
Well, I mean, there's always the freaking Musk. He was good, but now he's insane.
Which actually I just had a question that I wanted to bring up, which was like, so as you kind of alluded to, is like this is kind of more or less kind of turned into like a little bit of a passion project, not necessarily like I need this to be a massive commercial success in a way. So you're in a position to where you can kind of spend more time learning and building your skills and kind of learning more about the building aspect of your game compared to, I guess, whatever potential aspects you've done before. So what's that been like, and how long can you go until you're like, now I need a commercial success?
Yeah, I think you described it pretty well. It's it's not a passion project, but it also is. And from the technical aspect, it's not something that needs to happen, but I just want to do it. So it's like in somewhere in the middle grounds of like wanting and needing and all that kind of stuff. I think like what I am the most passionate about this is that as a developer, I've always enjoyed efficiency the most, like having efficiency meets quality in a way. Like, how can I be the fastest with not the highest quality, but like the higher than what you would expect out of that time frame of working on something alone. And I like that when I was doing the mobile games, I got constant praise of like shipping a game in 3 months, getting a couple of million downloads, it looking okay, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I've always enjoyed. And I think it continues here. But the challenge that I'm facing is that this game is a lot bigger than what I've like previously made. So that brings like technical challenges. Those are probably my biggest issues. Well, apart from marketing, but like technically in the sense that the bigger the project or the quantity of features that need to talk together, the harder it becomes to maintain the code base and all that kind of stuff. So that's the biggest challenge, but that is also why I'm really excited about the project. Like, I really like the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, because that's the way that I'm going to I'm going to become yet again better at this. And if I become better, if I can do this, then I know that like this will be my comfort zone after I'm done with this. Like, my previous comfort zone became like too comfortable. Now I'm trying to like build up my comfort zone, that the next games that I do are equivalent to this, but faster, better systems, and so forth. I guess it's somewhere there that I find biggest passion for this project. Commercial wise, to be honest, I don't expect this to bring more than maybe 10K euros unless there's some super viral thing happening. And that's okay. I I've been in the industry for long enough, so I know that I'm going to land somewhere okay anyway.
Yeah.
Even though it might sound arrogant to say that, but I still assume that I'll be okay, and
Yeah.
that's a safety net that not all devs have. So that makes my life a lot easier, and it also makes it possible for me to make a game and not expect it to be like bring a living.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm not sure if
interesting.
that answered your question, but it was just
Mm,
rambling around the
yeah,
subject.
no, that's totally fine. I think we got there. It's in some form, but it is. I don't find it arrogant. I just find it experience to be like, well, if depending on eventually if I need to find something like working for some other studio, and when you would like let's say that hypothetically pretend like you would have to look out at a different studio to potentially work for, what would you be looking for in a studio to work for? Because obviously you would almost kind of not really have a pick of the litter, but you would basically like you can kind of be more pickier than others. And and why you would choose a certain studio over another studio, I guess is the best way to put it.
Um, it's a good question. I think there are at least two approaches that I would take, if not even three. One of them would be because I've been uh, an a small dev or like an indie developer or working in very, very small teams for a long time. And going back to the lonely aspect of it, like
Mm,
one thing that I constantly keep going back to in my head is like, I would just want to work for, let's say, half a year or a year for any big studio that has more than 100 people, just so that
mm,
I can get to know the people again.
mm,
Like that has nothing to do with my motivation as a developer or anything, but just, have enough social life to uh, grow tired of it so that I can come back to this with motivation of not having
yeah,
to deal with people. So that's
yeah,
one part of it. Development wise, during my early part-time days, I did a couple of freelancing gigs. I
mm,
went to Romania for Ubisoft for a month or two. I did
mm,
actually a few prototypes for Rovio and some other stuff. So that was really fun because you get to do like very quick prototypes very fast,
mhm,
and you get paid fairly well. So
mhm,
that's one thing that I probably look into if there are other opportunities of not going as a hired gun, but rather a freelancer doing very small projects here and there,
yeah,
because that keeps things fresh quite often. And if I wanted to go work for somebody as a like a as an employee, I would probably want to go as like the regular Joe programmer, because
really,
I've never done that. I've been an artist in companies and somewhat of a designer, but I've never been a programmer for anybody else except me. So
mhm,
it would be really good to like somebody else just tell me the design, tell me what art you want to put in. I'll be
yeah,
efficient at that. I will do it for you. That would be
that's
really
cool,
great.
yeah. I was actually
And
just oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
yeah, there's maybe one more aspect, which is like if I wanted to, let's say, build a career within a company, then
Mm,
I would probably look into some company that has a little bit of success, and I could really prove my worth with the ability of like knowing quite a bit of every aspect and
mm,
having the background. I would probably go for something like that because that would probably also be quite great,
yeah,
even in the long term if it proves to be even more successful.
mhm. What I was gonna say is, like, have you thought of, like, bringing anybody else on to, It's All Over to well, depending on where you are in the development, but being like, "You know what? Maybe I do bring a visual effects person, or maybe I do bring on a marketer. Maybe you do kinda to solve a couple of things. Maybe they can fill a gap of, an expertise of something that you're maybe missing or you wanna see more of in your game, or also, to help out in other aspects that you just necessarily don't even want to do. Like, oh, the good example is like the writing aspect. Have you thought of maybe I bring in somebody and maybe not be as lonely working on this project, and also filling a gap of a thing that you possibly might need in the game. Have you thought
Yeah.
about maybe doing that?
Literally like 2 hours before we started recording, I posted on LinkedIn that I'm looking for a writer that I can
Oh, wow. There
brainstorm
you
with.
go.
Yeah. And a couple of people approached me. I actually am now, I, I got like 2 orders going on Fiverr, just to get the writing ideas going on, and a couple of others. And I do also have an artist that used to work in Part-Time Monkey. He's
Mhm.
done like a couple of different 3D models for me, because there's going to be a lot of content in the game,
Oh,
and
yeah.
some of the 3D models are really boring to make, so I want to offload that part. And I have voice actors from Fiverr as well for the trailer and for the in-game mumbo jumbo. So I do have like help around me.
Mhm.
I definitely want to offload bits and pieces here and there. And also on the marketing side, a few people have approached me, but that's a little, that's, I find it hard to hire there, or even like not hire, but like buy a service, because it's really, 'cause on all the other aspects of development, or like game industry in general, I know I have an idea on what needs to be done. But on
Mhm.
marketing, I have no idea what needs to be done, as we previously talked that
Right.
you need that one wire of it and all that kind of stuff. So because I have no idea, and it seems like no one has no idea, it's really hard to believe that these hired guns would have an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they can probably shit post like me. So I'm basically just offloading the shit posting to somebody
Yeah.
else.
That's a good way of putting it too. Yeah, because and that is, I especially with marketing. And one thing in business, it's a little bit more mechanical. Like you can kind of know some metrical type of output to input. You know what I mean? What I put out, I should expect this type of input,
Yeah.
etc. But when it comes to like games, I feel like, and just several of the conversations I've had, it feels like everyone's just kind of like, I don't know. You just put stuff out there and hope to God that somebody wish lists the game.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly,
more or less
man.
the conversations I had with almost everywhere. And then there was there was that article about triple A's. I forget which studio put it out. Ah, gosh, I can't remember. But anyway, a bigger triple A studio put out this whole piece on marketing in general. And they spend like every game they spend hundreds of 20s millions plus or whatever, you know what I mean? Millions and
Yeah.
millions of marketing. And they're like, at this point, they're finding the return on marketing isn't, they're basically not making anything off the marketing. And so it's like they're putting all this money in marketing and they're not seeing the return that they expect to get from it because of the landscape of Steam and indie and all, and then also just the landscape of like even the consoles are doing their own like, Steam type marketplace type thing. And I guess it's just like the way the landscape has transformed, that the emphasis on marketing and the big spend in marketing is not translating into sales, purchases, wish lists, etc.
Yeah.
And so
So
it's like,
basically, these big studios are facing the exact same issues that we are. That you need to, it needs to come from somewhere else than just like bought
uh-huh.
users.
Exactly, and they're spending a lot more money on
Yeah.
marketing, and they're finding that it's just not working the way they planned it to do. And so I think it's just the season of transition that we're kind of going in from this, well-known big studio type of stuff, especially in like, the PC and console type market, is now really pushing and transitioning into more of this, I would say almost content creator, social media type of stuff where it's like people are finding stuff through almost like I guess in an old school way of saying like a referral. You know what I mean? Like someone needs to
Yeah.
see somebody do the thing so that they feel comfortable to be able to participate in it. And
Yeah.
which is that
Yeah.
whole content creator type of ecosystem. And then thinking about that viral piece of content, posting things on social media, just trying to hope you get that one viral moment to where people get the eyeballs, compared to traditional paid ads or something, putting it on TV or making an actual ad on whatever. It's just not translating into what people, or
Yeah.
at least that's what AAAs have discovered. It's not translating.
In a way, it's weirdly comforting that uh, it's not about the marketing or the budget anymore. It's more about the product.
Yeah.
So in that way, if that's true, then it makes indies more hopeful. Like
Mhm.
you can't just do any kind of like traditional AAA game, put
Mhm.
100 million marketing budget on it and get 5x returns.
Mhm.
But rather, even those guys need to think like, well, why would people really want to share this content
Mhm.
and play this content and all that kind of stuff? And that's something that indie devs can also affect. Because,
Mhm.
and we can even, in a way, we can affect that even faster because we can do, if we wanted to, like very quick prototypes, put them out
Yeah.
there, see whether it's shareable and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Well, indie is much more nimble. We can,
Yeah.
especially like if you were to change something in your game, you only need to go through you to change something in your
Mm.
game. You don't need to go through the level designer, the marketing person, the lawyers, the lead developers. All you don't have to go through all
Yeah.
these different people
Yeah.
to make like one change to put a new post out there to see if that's what people really want. For you, it's like,
That's
oh well, I'll
actually,
try that out and put it out there.
yeah, actually one of the things that I've been thinking about with this project, because this project to me is going to be a very long one. I think about a year altogether.
Hmm.
Whereas my previous projects have been more like 2 or 3 months.
Hmm.
And I think that um, I could have perhaps tried a different approach on Steam as well. Like instead to like just have this one little hook and do a game every 3 months or so.
Hmm.
And that might have, I think, could have like been more fruitful in the sense that every 3 months I get another shot at that viral
Yeah.
trend or whatever. But I think like one of the reasons that I didn't do it is that the Steam is, to my understanding, a little bit different because you kind of need the wish lists, and if you don't get the wish list, you don't get the success and all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. So it's like a balance between this, like, can I make a game good enough that will succeed without wish lists,
Mm.
or should I go the 1 year, 2 year route where I get to have the time to build the following before releasing?
Hmm.
I think it's not many people, I don't think, are doing uh, the first option of doing like just multiple games, like just with one hook.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's appealing.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like we've really done some good work here. We've gone all over the place, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
if you're good with it, I mean, what we can do here now is we could do a little bit of an outro, and you can kind of give people all of the deets and information on where to find you, where to find your game, where to basically interact with you, and all that stuff. Just give everyone everything that they would want to know, and
Yeah,
we'll go from
sure.
there.
Yeah. I don't know how to like go towards that. Should I go like, hey, if you're looking for It's All Over, you can look here, it's all over game.com or whatever.
Well, I'm definitely gonna cut that in there now.
But yeah, I'm making It's All Over, a PC Steam game, solo dev project. You can, what the hell is the
Oh,
thumb?
oh, that was so funny. That's crazy.
And,
Oh, it's capturing the thumbs up. That's so funny.
uh, yeah, you can go to it'sallovergame.com, or you can go to my website, parttimemonkey.com, and join my Discord server. I will be very happy to discuss the game and everything else. There's already a few people there who are making similar games, and we are sharing some ideas. And yeah, I guess that's about it.
Well, sweet, man. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation, and I think other people will as well. I think it's a really good insight into a lot of aspects, and some just we went bananas and talked about ship hosting too. So we kind of went all over the place. But it's been a great conversation, and like I said, I'm humbled and thank you for
Thank
entertaining
you.
the
Thank you
show.
very much for having me. It's great to have these opportunities.
Yeah, well, right on, man.